Good morning, Britain. The SAS on standby as Met police officers refuse to carry guns in protest at a colleague's murder charge. Why don't you want to ask?
Oh, well, because I wasn't going to, because I thought it would be ungentlemanly. Oh, because the rules of engagement are completely...
The States.
It's called compromise.
Yeah, and we know that university students and lecturers have also been affected.
Well, I was looking of rootlessness. It frightens them.
Yeah, lockdown and the pandemic has had a massive
That's where it
impact
started.
at the moment because of this charge. If they're called upon, would only be used if police counter-terrorism commanders believed they needed to stage a raid. The Mail, your paper, has looked into a particular case where this individual, 30 years old, just weeks after he was freed, he went on to commit further serious of 28-year-old and went on to attack a 77-year-old in her own home. Drive around the country for more than 2 hours after the attack. It should not have been finished when you're released from prison because you're still out on licence at company time. But to all intents and purposes, you're...
Well, it bent him, didn't it?
But that person...
that a life sentence for murder doesn't mean life.
I know.
That most people are released after a minimum term and there's only...
Morning.
Good morning, Britain. It's just gone 6 o'clock. Well, there's one obvious person to ask if you can still be a sex symbol in your 60s. Richard Madeley.
Oh, get out of here.
Yeah, well...
no.
We might have to...
I don't know.
Quite an old-fashioned notion, isn't it? You're showing your age.
Well, that's the point. That's the thing. As you get... And I'm sure anybody over 60 watching this now, you'll agree with this. You read articles in the paper about...
Last week, didn't you, on the sofa, saying exactly that? And I'm sure Paul Young's fans would definitely still consider him a sex symbol.
Yeah, I suppose it's changed. It's changed since...
Angela Rippon.
79 next birthday.
At 8 this morning. Is it appropriate to still call people sex symbols?
Well, I think so, yeah. I mean, she'll be just over 12 months away from being 80, and she can do that.
Amazing.
She looked great.
Right, it's 4 minutes past 6. Our main news this morning is that armed soldiers, including special forces, are now on standby to protect Britain from terror attacks after a mass walkout by more than 100 Metropolitan Police firearms officers. The protest follows the decision to charge one of their colleagues with murder. Well, the head of the Met Police has demanded increased legal protection for officers following this revolt. Nick Dixon has gone to Scotland. Different, the army being called in to drive vehicles. Yeah. And the SAS being on standby instead of... Well, different. Yes. An armed army officer's rules of engagement are totally different from a civilian police officer, but I can see why you call them in if there was an ongoing emergency situation. That would be different. But you can't see them patrolling the streets with guns. Just, you know... We're going to discuss that with Andrew and Kevin. Let us know what you think as well this morning. It's 8 minutes past 6. Here's Marvin. My lovely man is 76, and we are sexy, 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 triple sexy. Tell us your messages, please. We don't care how old you are. Just tell us if you think you can still be hot when you get... But it's time to pick up your pension book. We debate that later. But first, we're going to get the news, the travel and the weather wherever you're watching. Back in a minute. Worried. Exclusive research for this programme has found that more than half of children in this country today say that they feel anxious, and they have felt anxious within the last 7 days. Now, this research comes as we help to launch ITV's Britain Get Talking campaign. This year, it's looking at how we should talk more about difficult news. Newer, 14 and 15, is that you... Yeah, I'm doing a special documentary for tonight on ITV, which will go out on the 10th of October, all about what parents can do to get their hands that they can ask, and also the access as well to treatment. Great to meet you. Thank you. Campaign and the research that we... It's 7:48. It's competition time again, and there's £1 million to... my personal oracle on Strictly and what is going to happen. Yes. Came out fighting, didn't he? Together or what? What were you doing? And forced by the kids. You've got William, of course. You've got... Laura today?